Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, ask and answer a question, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching a Comic Hero show. Now kick that intro! Edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Now, as they all say, all good things must come to an end. And with that being said, this is the last Mardi Gras episode of 2023, and I'll explain why later on. And also, I'm wearing a purple Mardi Gras Comic Hero tee. Now, purple in Mardi Gras represents justice. I'll also chime in on that later on, but for right now, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, last week's episode, I asked which DC character was originally created to be a substitute Batman. Well, the correct answer is Green Arrow. Now, some of y'all have answered Oliver Queen. I accept your answer because, after all, it's Green Arrow's real name. Now, this happened as a result of DC, I guess they figured since they had similar upbringings that they could pull that off. But then, they may have similar upbringings, but they have different personalities. So they ultimately and thankfully decided not to go through with that. Besides, I don't care who you are, I don't care what you do, you cannot fit a square peg into a round hole. But the answer is Green Arrow, and 6 of y'all have answered correctly, and because y'all answered correctly, your name's been entered in a drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Courtney Stump from West Monroe, Louisiana. So congratulations, Courtney. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Hulk question. Which city was the base of operations for the Hulk's Joe Fixit persona? Alright, by the way, it's a U.S. city. But here are the hints. There's 7 of them, so pay attention, and just about all of them are dead giveaways. Alright. The first hint is that this city is the 25th largest city in the U.S. and the largest city in the state of Nevada. The second hint, the Spanish translation for the name of this city is The Meadows. The third hint, this city is nicknamed both Sin City and the entertainment capital of the world. The fourth hint, the professional sports teams in this city are the Raiders of the NFL, the Aces of the WNBA, and the Golden Knights of the NHL. Alright, the fifth hint. This is kind of funny, although it's also true. This city averages nearly 300 weddings per day. Alright, the sixth hint. Hey, this is the name of a song. Viva Blank Blank by Elvis Presley. I'm sure y'all be able to get this one. And I just threw this last hint for free. This is the seventh and final hint. This is also a famous saying. What happens in blank stays in blank. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. So, I gotta ask. Any questions?
Questions I walk around in. Questions I didn't thrive in. Questions I will survive in. Questions.
I only have one question for this week, and it's from Ashley Richard from Winfield, Louisiana. She asked, and honestly, this is a question that a lot of folks have been wondering since I started doing this hobby. Who is your favorite superhero and why? Whoa, Ashley. I mean, you are only the second or third person ever since I started doing the Any Question segment that has ever asked me that question, and my answer always remains the same. First off, that's like asking me, I mean, that's like Lay's potato chips. You can't eat just one. I have a favorite superhero from two different publications. From DC, it's Superman. And the reason for that is not what a lot of folks think. It's not because of his powers. It's not because he's an alien from a distant planet whose souls get supercharged when he comes in contact with the yellow sun. It's because, in spite of all that, he's just a friend. I mean, he's about one of the most wholesome superheroes I've ever met. I mean, he lives and breathes by the golden rule. He treats everyone fairly. He doesn't kill. In spite of all these powers, he never uses them irresponsibly. He uses them very responsibly. And, you take away all that, the fact that he has powers because he's an alien from another planet. He's just one of us. So that's why. And for Marvel, it would have to be Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man is pretty much the Jerry Seinfeld of comics. I mean, it seems like every time something good happens, life just knocks him down, but he still gets back up. And it seems like ever since his Uncle Ben was murdered, Uncle Ben always gave him that advice, with great power must also come great responsibility. And he was very irresponsible until his Uncle Ben was murdered. And then after that, he made a vow not to be irresponsible, and the fact, to always take responsibility for his actions, and he always tries to save everyone, knowing good and well that he doesn't, but it never stops him from trying. Sometimes, a lot of us go the extra mile in order to help people. There's nothing wrong with helping people, but don't do it to the point where you kill yourself. And Spider-Man has almost done that several times over the years. So definitely Superman and Spider-Man in that regard. All right, really loving these questions, folks. Y'all keep them coming. They can have anything to do with the show. They can have anything to do with me in terms of the comic book collection or how I do the show. But please, no tasteless questions. I will not ask nor answer them on this show. All right, now it's time for Comically Speaking. So without further ado, let's talk comics! All right, there are two things we're going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and they're both DC. Now, at the end of Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, after the Justice League come back from the dead, and they take down Pariah and then later Deathstroke, they had announced that they were disbanding the team. So, out of the ashes of that comes a brand new DC team. Well, really, they're not even new, much less brand new. It's actually one of the most popular teams in comics, and I'm talking about the Titans. Now, this is a brand new series coming to DC in May. It's going to be written by Tom Taylor with art by Nicola Scott. Now, Taylor, I tell you, when I kind of raised my eyebrow with a few things that he did when he was with Marvel, when he wrote the Superior Iron Man. But then when he came to DC and started writing some stuff, especially the most recent book he was on, which was Superman, Son of Kal-El, he blew me away. And honestly, I can't wait till he starts writing Adventures of Superman, John Kent, which is coming next month. But anyway, he is writing his book, and then Nicola Scott, who occasionally pencils issues of Wonder Woman or does some pinup art of Wonder Woman, and then has also been on different other projects for DC. She is going to be penciling this book. Now, you're probably wondering, who's going to be in this Titans book? Well, it's practically going to be the same lineup from the early 80s. It's going to consist of Nightwing, Starfire, Raven, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Donna Troy, and the Wally West Flash. This is one of the most popular lineups in any part of ever since the Teen Titans made their debut back in 1964. A very beloved lineup, and I can't wait to read. I mean, mainly because, you know, I've always been a fan of the Teen Titans ever since I started reading comics. And then, because, I mean, Tom Taylor and Nicola Scott, you can't, I mean, that's going to be a great tandem of creators right there. I mean, what's not to like? But anyway, the Titans, coming from DC in May. And I'm all in on that book. All right, now the second thing, there's another DC book coming out that month, and it's a monthly series. And it's another fan favorite, and this is a character that's been around for a very, very, very long time, and also went by another name. And I have some good, and while I'm thinking about it, I have some good news regarding that. All right, new Shazam series coming to DC, and it's going to be written by Mark Waid with art by Dan Mora. Now, I love Mark Waid's writing. I mean, ever since he and Brian Augustyn were writing The Flash, I have been a fan of his. I mean, he's done hardly any wrong with any book he's ever written, whether it be DC or Marvel. I also love this run on Fantastic Four. And then Dan Mora, he's also done the artwork on every issue of Batman, Superman, World's Finest. And then before that, he was the artist on Detective Comics, and I honestly cannot wait to read this book. Now, the awesome thing about this book is that he's going back to two things. First, Billy Batson is going back to his original costume, and I'm talking about the one that he wore when he made his first appearance, then that he wore all the way through 2011. And not only that, but he will not be called Shazam anymore. He's going to go by half of his original name. Now you're probably wondering, Vic, how is that possible? For those of y'all who don't know, I don't know if this was in the 80s or the 90s. I want to say it was in the 90s. Well, Marvel, okay, first off, his superhero name was Captain Marvel, but then Marvel ended up taking DC to court over the ownership of that superhero name, which Marvel ended up winning. So in 2011, they pretty much, you know, with the New 52, they gave him a brand new origin, and then they also called him Shazam, because not only did he was he bestowed all the powers from the ancient wizard, he became the ancient wizard himself. And then a lot of folks didn't, and then also he was given a brand new costume, a costume that was a lot more up to date. Over time, a lot of folks didn't really like any of this. So Mark Waid had decided, okay, let's fix this. So Billy Batson's going to get his classic costume, and he's going to be called the Captain. He will not be called Shazam anymore. He will be called the Captain. And you know, only when it comes to Shazam, that's only what the name of the book is going to be. And I'm really looking forward to that book too. I mean, I've been a fan of Shazam really since the New 52. Although I have done a little digging around, you know, anywhere from the character's early days all the way through 2011. And there was a lot of things about the mythos of Shazam that I really enjoyed, and I'm really looking forward to this. But Shazam coming to DC in May, and I'm all in. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, here we go. First up is the Amazing Spider-Man number 19. Batman number 132. Black Panther number 14. Uh-oh. Captain America Symbol of Truth number 10. Daredevil number 8. The Flash number 792. Gold Goblin number 4. The Joker number 5. Really excited about this one. Static Shadows of Dakota number 1. Supermassive. Oh, let me show you. This is a double cover. And finally, X-Men Legends number 6. All right, that's 11, which brings the total number of comics that I've bought since December of 1997 to 11,871. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. And here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. Which city was the base of operations of the Hulk's Joe Fixit persona? Now, here are the hints. The first hint is that this city is the 25th largest city in the U.S. and the largest city throughout the state of Nevada. The second hint, the Spanish translation for the name of the city is the Meadows. The third hint, this city is nicknamed both Sin City and the entertainment capital of the world. The fourth hint, the professional sports teams in the city are the Raiders of the NFL, the Aces of the WNBA, and the Golden Knights of the NHL. The fifth hint, this city averages nearly 300 weddings per day. The sixth hint, Viva Blank Blank by Elvis Presley. And then the seventh and final hint, what happens in blank stays in blank. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Courtney Stump from West Monroe, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this episode. Now, at the beginning, I was talking about the Mardi Gras, the third color of Mardi Gras, which is purple. Now, purple represents justice, and justice is something that we all want whenever we go through any level of adversity, and that's the right thing to do. Sometimes you know, whenever you get done wrong, I mean, especially when it's very severe, we want justice, and there's no, and yes. So, green represents faith, gold represents power, purple represents justice. Those are three things that adversity don't stand a chance against. And this is a Justice Comic Hero tee. And if you would like one of your own, you can find them on my website, IamTheComicHero.com, for $20. Now, I know that I'm saying that, and the Mardi Gras season is coming to a close in a week. So, as you're watching this, and you really want one, I wouldn't hesitate to go ahead and buy one. And then just about anything else that's on the shop section. Now, if you're watching this and you've gone to any balls and parades, Mardi Gras balls and parades, I hope y'all enjoy yourselves. And I know that y'all are waiting for next year. I know I am. And then if you're watching this and you haven't gone to any yet, and you plan on going to them before the season comes to a close next week, then enjoy yourselves, have fun, and be careful, because I really would like for you to watch again. Okay, on next week's episode, instead of doing a fourth Mardi Gras episode, I'm going to celebrate Black History Month. You know, I don't care what anyone says. I love being black. I love the skin that I'm in. And whenever I do the show, you know, I always hope that I can inspire just about anyone, and that is my game. I'm not one of those people who's self-preserving. I mean, what's What's so fun about being self-preserving? But on next week's episode, this is a celebration of all of Black people everywhere. And I'm also going to wear a shirt in observance of that. I've shown quite a few of y'all what it looks like, and on next week's episode, everyone's going to see it, and y'all are going to be very thrilled. I'm going to have a special announcement regarding the shirt that I'm going to wear. Some of y'all may know this already, but this is for everyone, whether they know about it or not. I really love doing this show. I really love celebrating people. I really love celebrating their accomplishments. I love raising people up. I mean, that's what we have to do, folks. We have to be a beacon of light for each other. I mean, don't be self-preserving, and don't go out and do anyone harm. Do no harm. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, welcome. And as soon as you're done, hit subscribe. All right, I'm Victor Nolly on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 434. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and laissez-les bon temps rouler. Ahee!